Hey, it's Chad Nicely along with Perry Belcher.
What's up?
Welcome to the Marketing Badass
And
podcast.
Complete with logo t-shirts and rock hard nipples.
Once again,
all right,
where's my shirt?
You got to earn it. This can't give it to you, I'll tell you.
All right. So, Perry, what are we talking about today?
Dude, today I'm going to tell you guys something that I haven't really talked about a lot. But last year, I got paid in 2022, and I'm doing more in 2023. I got paid $422,000 in advances to create information products.
433,000.
Is it 430?
Yeah.
Hold on, I got the number here. $433,153.16.
That's why he has me.
I didn't have the 16 cents in there. I just made the 16 cents up because I thought it sounded cool. But yeah, I got paid $433,000, $433,153 last year in advance to make information products. And I would imagine some of you cats would be interested in how I did that, wouldn't you? In addition to that, let me tell you this. Once those information products were made, I earned another $602,277 in royalties
to the penny
and 14 cents. I don't know how many cents was there. No to the pennies.
That's a nice.
And yeah, so that's a total of $1,030,000.
A lot of freaking money.
$1,035,000.
And that doesn't include the high ticket.
Doesn't count. Yeah.
Where the real money is.
Yeah. Good part, Mortimer. So that doesn't count the high ticket sales that were during the filming, during the live studio audience sessions, and all the follow-up that came after that. And that includes $5,000 intensive days at my house. I did a lot of those last year. $10,000 consulting days here at the office. $10,000 mentorship programs, these intensive programs I do. $25,000 a year mastermind deals. And I did 2 private equity deals as a result of this little exercise in the 12 months in 2022. So don't you want to know how's I did it?
Yes.
I bet you do.
But before we get to that, I know everybody's looking at this saying, yeah, but you're Perry Belcher. So
well, they'd be right.
Right. They would absolutely right. But
you got to be sexy like this. You got to be be sexy. You got to have big muscles that I don't have. You got to have your back all the way. Yeah, I bet there's no problem with that. Right? Yeah, my little bearded turkey neck is showing on video here. I'm getting over that. I can't dye my hair. I wish I could dye my hair. I want to dye it so bad, but it breaks out my skin and I can't do it. Anybody got a solution to that for me? I'd really appreciate it. I guess I could just shave.
But in all honesty, both of us are feeling under the weather here. So we're sitting here pulling for you. But getting back to the topic here, this is something that you don't necessarily have to have a huge audience. You don't have to do this in fancy hotels. We know people do this in little seminar rooms. We know people that do this
from
their homes.
What is this, Chad? Since we're talking about what this is,
because you already kind of revealed what it is.
No, I didn't. I didn't. Okay. You're stealing my damn thunder. You're stealing my thunder.
Well, I'm trying to help them understand that this is something anybody could do. You not feel special anymore.
You see why he doesn't have a shirt? That's why I took away his coffee mug too. He ain't got one in no more. Yeah. I'm going to get him a shirt that says candy ass marketer on it. I can't wait.
All right. Let's let you take over anyways. All right.
But okay. So here's how I did it. All right. I did the same way that Dan Kennedy's been doing it for 100 years. And Dan is 143 years old. Most people don't know that. And I did the same way that Ryan Dice and I did our very first Traffic Conversion Summit. When we started TNC, I argued to get that program going for 2 years. And Ryan just thought it was going to be too disruptive to the business. Didn't think it was going to make any money. So I made him a deal. I said, how about this? How about we do the live event and every session that we do, we'll make an info product out of it that we can sell. And that way, if the event bombs and makes no money, at least we'll come out of it with 8 or 9 info products over a 3-day period, filmed in front of a live studio audience. So we'll have good feedback, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So
you must have won.
I did win. And I did win that argument. It took a little while. But so that's what it's about. But before you run off and go, oh, I'm not getting on stage in front of people and all that, you don't have to do any of that. You can do this totally virtually. You can hold virtual events. There's a couple of models for that. But I do the live event model better. So here's how I did it. I just came up with an idea for an event. And I'll tell you how bad the first one was. I couldn't come up with an idea
or a name.
So I just said, hey, I'm going to hold an event called the weirdest event ever. And I'm going to teach the weirdest stuff I know for 3 days here in Las Vegas. And fortunately for me, I had some lost souls who showed up to that event. And I did indeed film 6 2.5 hour info sessions during that event. So I got 6 2.5 hour products out of one event. Now, here's the good news. I sold tickets for $500 a piece, and I sold a VIP dinner for $295. Additionally to that, so I got paid about that very first event. I think we had 120 people ish. So by the time everything was in and done, I got paid about $120,000 to in ticket sales, and all I had was an idea.
And you had about 100 people virtual.
Yeah, we ended up having virtual folks, but all I had was an idea. The point of this is you can have an idea tonight, start selling tickets tomorrow. Now, like Chad said, oh, you're Perry, you get more money. Maybe you can, but you know what? You can do it virtually and sell the tickets for $10. It doesn't matter. You just need an audience to watch you. You could do a challenge. There's all sorts of models. You could do an online challenge where you teach 2 hours a day. And at the end of the 4-day challenge, you've got 4 2-hour products. So you could do it as a virtual summit where you bring on guest speakers to speak in a virtual summit standard way. You can do it in a small local venue. So today, I don't do events at hotels anymore. I killed that. Now I've just got I'm in my office here. I've got a room that holds 48 people, and we hold all the events here now. So it costs very little to hold the events. We film them with our own equipment, so we're not paying AV companies and all that. And at the end of the day, I got the same result. I get 3 or 4 products out every time I do an event. And I'll break down how I do that in a second. But the idea is, so what they sold the tickets, $433,000 worth of tickets in advance to do these events. And then when they're done, we started selling the info products. And the info products, I've only produced so far, I think we've produced like 9 or 11 total programs, but I've only sold 4 of them so far. So we've got 5 or 6 more programs that are yet to launch. And for the ones that don't sell, I'm going to give them away for free on YouTube. So I get value out of all of it. I can take candid shots out of it for short form video like Alex Hormozy, because I look just like him. People come up to me.
Yeah,
I get that.
I totally
If
see.
one more person comes up and says, Alex, how do I open a gym? I'm just going to punch them in the nose. It'll hurt because I have huge muscles because I look just like Alex. Alex, my neighbor, I'm joking. He's a good dude. So anyhow, where was I?
Alex Hormozy, good dude. But here's the thing. You're getting ready to break down your whole event thing.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people know about events and how they can go out there and do it, but
they're doing it for the wrong purpose though. Yeah.
Exactly. They're not going into it with the intention of creating a product.
The wrong purpose. Right. And I promise you, you will produce the best product you've ever produced in front of a live studio audience. I talked to Chad about it. Chad did one a few weeks ago and produced probably the best products he's ever produced. Because you're up there in front of people, even if you're virtual, right? You want to look good, man. You want to dazzle them with your brilliance, right? And if you miss something, you can see it in their eyes and see that they glassed over. Or guess what? They'll ask a question. So I film all the Q&As too, because that takes care of the people at home that might have that question. So I fill in every blank. If they've got questions, and man, what have I missed? I'll stop in the middle of the night. Hey, what have I missed? What didn't I cover? What didn't I do? Tell me what it is, and then we can knock it out. Think about that in a year, producing 12 brand new info products to sell, right? But here's the great part. It's goofy still. So number one, all you do is come up with an idea, right? Write yourself a sales message and sell some people on coming to your event. It ain't that hard. People are dying for stuff to do. They're liking traveling again. If you want to do it live, if not, they'll do it virtual and they'll be cool too. And you just sit down and create the event the way you're going to produce it. And here's the big secret, right? Create the event as if you are writing a book, chapter and verse, right? So if you can break everything you do into 15-minute chunks, it's super important. So let's say you're going to do 2.5 hours, right, on a subject. So let's say 2 hours of that's going to be you teaching and 30 minutes of that's going to be Q&A or interactivity, right? So you need 8 15-minute sections, right? So if you write a book, imagine you have 8 chapters in the book, they're 15 minutes apiece, and you're going to teach on that subject for that long. Now, in an event, you may have whole 2.5 hour blocks that relate to one another, but they should be titled separately. So imagine your event is like a book series. So maybe your first section is on traffic and the next is on conversion, or the First is on growing marijuana, and the second one is on selling it, and the third one's on how to smoke it correctly. I don't know what you do. Doesn't matter to me.
Let me know when you run that event.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So anyway, you could be selling anything, teaching anything you want, it wouldn't matter. But write it in chapter and verse. And here's Hermosi. We talked about Hermosi earlier. It's a good buddy of mine. One of the things Alex does really well, he films everything in 15-minute chunks. Why? Because 15 minutes is an optimum amount of time on YouTube. So he'll film these chunks for YouTube that may or may not be inside a product he's selling, who knows, or inside something else he's going to teach. And then out of those 15-minute sections, each one of those 15-minute sections makes a YouTube video, right? Out of the 15-minute sections, there are usually 2 or 3 good 1 or 2 minute sound bites in there that he can cut out for a short form video for TikTok, for Instagram Reels, or for Facebook Reels, right?
If we were organized enough, we could have done it with this clip.
Yeah, we could have done it. We're not organized enough. And then you can drop the audio out of that clip and make a podcast with it. You can transcribe it in Otter, which we do live while we're running our events. So when we're done with each event, we got a 200 or 300 page document that was produced from Otter AI. Costs us nothing, but it's a great add-on for stuff, right? Those can be blog posts and articles that you put out in your newsletter and your. Think about all the stuff you're creating, and you're getting paid in advance to create it.
Yeah.
You're getting paid in advance to create it. Chad can sit down in front of a computer and create a course. I can't. I don't have attention span for it. I got to be in front of people. I got to feel the energy of the people. And maybe you're not like that. But if you are, this could really help for you. So then you hold the event, right? Guess what? Guess what events are really good for? They're really good for selling big ticket.
They're the best for selling.
They're the best for selling big ticket. So if you're selling ongoing coaching programs, high ticket masterminds, anything like that, there's no better way to sell those bigger ticket sales than belly to belly in the room with other people. Mm-hmm. So when you got 48, the second best thing is to be in a virtual event live, right? Because it's the next best thing to being live. And the next best thing to that is probably teleseminar or webinar or something like pre-recorded. Right. But the live element really matters because you can interact with people, answer their questions, support their needs more, and all those things. So here's the deal. We sold, I don't want to say, I don't know the exact amount. I would tell you an exact amount, but I would estimate that it's probably in excess of the other $1 million in just high ticket stuff that we sold in the background at the events or after the events or as a result of the events. So you hold the event, you do it chapter and verse, you have somebody film it. And then when you're done, you just put bumpers on either end of the clips. You put them into a members area. Now you got a course. And one of the great things I teach people to do is when you're lecturing from stage, imagine that you are a professor lecturing from stage at a college, right? You don't want to say anything that's dated or specific to technology. You want to teach the theory, right? And then you say, hey, what we'll do, I'm going to ask Chad, or I'm going to ask Amanda, or I'm going to ask Russell or somebody else on the team to make a video for you guys showing you inside this platform exactly how you do that. And the reason I do that is twofold. Number one, I'm lazy and I don't want to do work. Number two, I'm lazy and I don't want to work. A distant third is that
you're lazy.
Yeah, but a distant third is technology may change. They may move the button from the right to the left, and I don't want to redo the whole thing again. That way, I can just kill that video and say, "Hey, Russ, can you redo that one video because they've moved something?" And inside the members area, we always have commenting under each video, so people, if they have a question, they don't get something right, they can ask it. And as you're making your info products better, one of your best things you can do is go through your support mail, and every time you get a support email about any of your products, answer it with a video. Answer it with a video from you. And then add those videos into your members area. Just make your products way more robust and it'll train your customer service people exactly how to answer a question. So that's it. That's number 2 and 3. And then lastly, you sell the recording. So as you come out of these things, you're going to know the other great thing that's really cool about doing live events. If you do 6 sessions at a live event, you're going to know which ones really connected with people, because there are some there you can tell they were like, okay, that's cool, but that's not the greatest thing I ever heard. There are some that they're just blown away by. So we sell 2.5 hour to 3 hour trainings for $297. The way that I sell them is by giving people, I bring them in with a tripwire of the mind map and the checklist to do the thing. I give them that. And then that's what brings them in. As soon as they come in, then we take them to a VSL or a long form sales letter, and we pitch them on the purchase of the 297 product. And let me tell you, people are thrilled with those products because they're so much more entertaining and they just have a different vibe to them than some guy sitting in front of a Zoom going, okay, slide number 27, we're going to talk about blah, 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 blah. It's just boring as shit. There's a lot more to this, right? There's a whole lot more to it. Matter of fact, I've got an event coming up called the Perpetual Workshop Model. It's in a couple of weeks. Be too short for a lot of you guys, but if you can, come on down.
I know when they're watching this video.
Yeah, if you're watching it later, you're screwed. You lost out. Too bad. But guess what? I might be doing at that event. I might be filming that event to sell a series of products, which I always am. But I'll tell you, I'm going to add one more little thing to this. If I do a session, or if I have a guest like Chad come in to help me to do a session in one of my events, I always tell them the same thing. Your presentation has to be good enough to sell as a product. So that makes the presentations at the event fantastic. And the people who come to my events, 70% of them come back to another event because they're walking in the door instead of getting a bunch of teaser crap. We don't pitch anything with the exception of one thing. And when we start the event, it's really straightforward. I'll say, look, there's nothing to buy here. There's no info products here for sale. There's only one thing you can buy the whole time you're here. And it's really expensive. And it's my personal mentorship or mastermind. It's really expensive, right? I frame it as really expensive, so I don't freak them out. If you've got a lot of money, if you don't have any money to buy something really expensive, kick back, enjoy the show, learn as much as you can, go out and make a bunch of money, and maybe next year you can come back and join one of the high ticket programs and move up forward. If you do have the money that you might invest, guess what? You've got the next 2.5 days to evaluate me to see if you think I'm worth it. So I've closed within 1 minute of the show opening. It doesn't freak anybody out. It doesn't make anybody mad. And it's so much better than waiting to the end. And because everybody's waiting to see where the hammer's coming, right? This is what you just tell them. This is what I got. It's not for 95% of you guys, but for those of you you got time to evaluate, right? So how's that for being fair? Everybody will go, yeah, it's great, man. Cool. Okay, then we're off to the races and we go. It's the most fair, honest way to sell in an event that I know of. And I'll tell you, those sales stick. Nobody refund. I think I did one refund the entire year of last year. I did one refund on big ticket. They stick. If you wait till the last minute, you put in all the pressure techniques on them and all that bullshit, yeah, you might sell more. And there are people that sell a lot more than me in events. There are people that sell way more than me a lot because I'm very laid back and chill about it because I don't care. That wasn't my purpose. I care. It's nice to make the money, but my purpose was to sell some tickets to a live event, get paid in advance, shoot a live event, make a whole bunch of products I'm going to sell for years. Freaking years. I can take each one of those 2.5 hour products, have it translated into a Kindle book, not translated. We have to translate hillbilly, right? But we can transcribe that into Kindle books. I can make Kindle books out of that. I can put together a series of those products to make a big, thick book on a subject, right? Then maybe a printed book. There's just so much that you can do once you have this much content in the can. And I hope you guys understand that and will take that to heart because if we've got a center here, you might want to do your events here in my center. You come out to the event if you can. It's dirt cheap and it's a lot of fun. And I'm going to break down every part of this from high ticket from selling how to sell the tickets because I could talk for half an hour about how to sell the tickets because there's a system that we use to sell the tickets, how to hold the event, prepare for the event, how to carry yourself on stage, how to make sure that you act with the live stream audience, how to inject some humor, when to take breaks, when to do all those things, how to have your guys film the event properly so you get the best possible product at the end, how to sell the recordings. Really, that's it. So how do you sell at the event? We'll talk about that, and then at the end we'll talk about how we sell the recordings. This is my entire business model. It's the entirety of what I do. I'll do probably 4 to 6 new events in 2023. I'll produce somewhere between 10 to 15 more products. So my library of products for sale library. It's a library or library.
I don't
Don't
know.
know.
Whatever you want it to be.
It's my library of products to sell. I didn't have any. I had stopped selling information 8 years ago, but I have almost as many products in the can right now as I did 8 years ago when I was doing this full time. That's my big story, my big trick for the day.
I
You got
wrote
any
down a
follow up
couple
questions about that?
things. I don't want to let too much out,
No.
but I also think it's important to note that a lot of these events can be sold right from your wall. I see
Oh,
a
yeah,
lot
yeah.
of people. You don't even have to go out there and spend money on
No,
ads or
man.
anything.
One of my best buddies, Kevin Nations here in town, he only likes events with 8 to 12 people
Yeah.
in the event, and he'll film the event the same way that I do. And because I'll tell you this, the fewer people in your room, the higher your percentage of closing rate will be and the more money you can charge.
And the better experience.
I don't know why that's true, but it's true. There's just a certain intimacy to a small room.
Yeah. And the other thing is, I used to run events right out of my home, and I get paid a lot of money to do those events. But the one thing I didn't consider was every single time I had people there, I could have been creating a product, an evergreen product.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of people doing that. They just haven't put the thought into it.
It's also a good way if you've got a nice home or you want a bigger home, you can certainly justify getting a home with a home theater in it or a big open area where you can film 2 or 3 times a year and pay your entire mortgage for the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I'm learning is, and I learned it by accident, is anytime you have a live audience, whether it be a live event or on Zoom or a webinar or something, you product because you're gonna have the best social proof. You have that energy. It's just a great experience, and everybody loves those evergreen products.
We're creating an hour and a half long training now every month on one of my mentorship programs. And that hour and a half deliverable, we have to deliver that for the members, but that hour and a half product is that hour and a half is now a product I'll sell for $97 as a front end. And the people don't get mad about it. The members don't get mad about it because otherwise they'd have to buy that. They get it for free and they got it in advance. We don't release that for at least 90 days. So I want to give the members the ability to go out and leverage this technique in advance. And then later we can offer that for sale to the public for anywhere from $100 to $300, depending on the value. The value of an information product is not based on how long it is. It's based on what it does, how effective is the strategy and how quickly can it implement, how much work does it take and how effective is it. So I've sold hour and a half long presentations for $300 before that people raved about. The video sales letter formula that we sold millions of dollars worth of, a little less than 90 minutes. I think it was 88 minutes long. We sold it for $200 forever and people were thrilled to get it. So I think that this is my favorite way. I wouldn't be in the information business any other way. And I think the people, old Dan Kennedy told me one time, in the info business, the people who sell the most are the ones that have the most to sell. So if you want to really be successful in this business and build a big portfolio of products, I don't know a better way to do it in the world.
Yeah. And the thing is, you're actually able to go out there and sell the product before you create it.
Yeah.
That's super important. I think a lot of people get stuck in that whole product creation phase. So it's a great way to do it.
So Chad, why don't you do the podcast intro now and tell them what podcast we're on?
Podcast intro. We got to come up with some kind of sizzle reel at the beginning, right?
We already got that. But now you're supposed to say.
Good to go.
You're supposed to say, welcome to the Marketing Badass Podcast. You didn't say that.
I did say that. I see.
You didn't.
See, this is what
He didn't say it.
He didn't say it. And I made sure it wasn't overmodulated. How much would you like to bet?
Why don't you say it again so you can be sure? Just do the damn thing. I want to go home.
All right. What do you want me to say? They're entertained. That's
all right. Already. No.
Who's there? What are you supposed to say when somebody's
I wrote this joke. This is the only original joke I've ever wrote in my life. And
I think we should have a joke segment.
I was driving by the Beverly Wilshire. Most people already signed off here. They don't stay this long.
So yeah, they do. I think
so. I was driving by the Beverly Wilshire Hotel on a certain day. It was a very specific day.
What was that word?
When I drove Pacific. It was a Pacific day because I was by the ocean. It was a very specific day. And I saw something that made me think of what was going on. And then who's that day? And I wrote this joke. You ready?
I'm ready.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Knock, knock.
Do I do it?
Come on.
Who's there?
Come on, Whitney, open up. I got to take a poop.
Oh my God. That's horrible, Perry.
It was pretty bad.
That is horrible.
Yeah.
We apologize. I'll apologize.
Oh, hold on. I'll give you, now I'll save that joke for the next. I got another one. I got one a little bit worse.
All right. We just lost.
All right. Everybody left now. Whitney Houston fans are like, I hate him. but everybody.
You're gonna be making some posts on your wall about some of the future podcasts.
Yeah, we'll start asking you if you guys have ideas. If you want to post them under here, like if you have ideas for podcast things you want me to talk about, things you want Chad to talk about. Chad, by the way, is a wizard. Software, affiliate promotions, LinkedIn, tons of community development, a lot of stuff that I suck at, man. So we should be getting Chad in here for a lot more than we are. If
I could ever get this guy to shut up, I might say, I'm sure they're feeling the same way. They're like, why is that guy sitting there? I didn't want to steal your.
exactly.
I didn't want to steal your.
Okay, this is what you're doing. This is what I want you to do. Okay. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.